Welcome back to CCR Productions. Today we're going to be deciding which of these No Way Home action figures are worthy of being added to your collection. Let's go ahead and get on into the review. Segment 1 is the looks of the figure. So let's go ahead and take a quick look at each of these figures. Here we have the Sandman. And this figure looks absolutely great. He has an amazing head sculpt with some amazing detail in there. You can even kind of see some sandy eyes. This figure just looks overall amazing. He's got very nice paint to make the sand look a little bit more dirty in spots. He has a beautiful sculpt, and there's even some shininess in his sculpt to kind of simulate sand. How sand has some more kind of sparkly little sand grains. Overall, I'd say this figure looks absolutely great. Definitely a good looking figure. Now, the looks of this green goblin figure are absolutely amazing. This figure looks great. He has plenty of amazing paint details just kind of everywhere. He's got a little pumpkin that has a little painted spot. He has all these little painted missiles and little details, little ripped up pieces, all painted. Just everything on this figure looks great and is painted amazingly. Definitely a very nice and good looking figure with a great head sculpt and great face. Definitely looks good. Where the other two figures have passed on the look scale, this figure might not. This figure does look great. He has plenty of nice painted on details, but he's not perfect, and that's with the head sculpt. The head sculpt does look kind of weird. It doesn't look like, wow, that looks awful. It's more of like, it's off. You're not exactly sure what's wrong with it. It just doesn't look right. Otherwise, the figures on the actual figures painted pretty nicely. It's not the best paint ever. There are some little blemishes and stuff. There's a couple little overspray pieces, but for the most part, this figure does look very nicely painted. He is going to not take a perfect score though, because of the head sculpt. Other than that, I'd say this figure looks pretty good. Looks-wise, there is a place where this figure is absolutely going to kill it. This figure looks great. Plenty of good detail, no real paint problems. His head sculpt looks great, his back looks great. There is a small little extra little bit of black paint on his back there. But other than that, this figure just looks absolutely amazing. You can get him, absolutely amazing, you can get him into a wonderful pose where he looks like he's going to whip you with a web. So, yeah, this figure looks great. Definitely has plenty of good paint and detail. There's even little detail into his arm there where you can kind of see the texture, and there's also a very nice texture on his chest. Definitely going to be a very good one for look scale. He definitely looks this Spider-Man final web swinging suit, and this figure looks great. He has plenty of he's got perfect little web lines, perfect paint. The blue and the red go so well together. Now it is coming across a much darker blue and much lighter red, or much more like an orangey kind of yellow red on camera. Not sure why it's doing that. It does look much better in person, but just a great looking figure overall. Looks great. No paint problems with this guy. Looks perfect. Definitely going to be a very nice contender on the look scale. Accessory-wise for Sandman, he's actually pretty good. He comes with 6 total different kind of hands. But yeah, let's go ahead and just get into it. So hand-wise, he comes with 2 very big hands as well as the covers for them, so it looks a little bit more natural whenever you put it onto the actual figure. He does come with 2 very nicely sculpted fisted hands with some pretty decent articulation, as well as 2 very nice gripping hands. So overall, Sandman has great accessories. He has Green Goblin's accessories. Unfortunately, I could not get the pumpkin bomb out of his hand. It is kind of stuck in there. But he does come with a very nicely painted pumpkin bomb. He also comes with this very nicely sculpted gripping hand for the pumpkin bomb. He also comes with a very nice fisted hand, and that looks great from both sides. He also comes with this amazing head sculpt with a removable hood and removable goggles, so you can kind of see him under there. Very easy to put on and off the hood and goggles. He also comes with this amazing Green Goblin mask head sculpt, which looks just great. And also the big accessory that this guy comes with is the very nice glider. It looks great. It does have some posable parts. It does move a little bit. There is a nice clear stand that goes with it. And there's kind of what it looks like from the underside. So it does look good. It's got some nice painted pieces. There's what it looks like from the top. And there's also some green little pieces on some of these parts. And there are some rubbery things, such as the missiles and the sides. Now, these are more plasticky. So if there are kids, or you're giving this to a kid, maybe be careful if they don't poke their eye out. Although I'm sure they won't. So yeah, this guy has some pretty cool accessories. On to the next thing. Toby Maguire, Spider-Man's accessories. First, we have his very nice Spider-Man head sculpt. Although it is a little bit weird. Here we have his very nice Toby Maguire head sculpt. Here we have a very nice fisted hand, as well as a very nice gripping hand. He only gets one of each, but he does get two very nice whipping hands. On to the next figure. The Tom Holland head sculpt. Here we have Amazing Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, and he does come with this amazing head sculpt. Well, Andrew Garfield head sculpt, which looks very much like him. He also does come with this very nice Spider-Man head sculpt, and he also does come with two web whipping hands. But what he does not come with two of is a fisted hand. He only comes with one of those, and it is on the right side, as well as a left kind of web gripping hand with a little hair stuck to it. On to the Tom Holland head sculpts. So of course you do get the Spider-Man one, which looks very nice. You also get this amazing looking Tom Holland Peter Parker head sculpt, which also looks incredibly nice. You also get two web whipping hands, which look really nice, as well as two kind of gripping, or not gripping, but I guess kind of sticking to a wall hands, as well as two very nice fisted hands. On to the next figure. Wise for the Sandman figure is great. He looks absolutely awesome in a nice, very nice sandy kind of pose. Does look great in these poses. And now you can get him into plenty of poses, so I will go ahead and show some of his other poses you can get him into now. Here we have the green goblin on his glider, and he does look great on his glider. His figure is very hard to pose on this glider, so I tried to get him into a cool pose. There you go. So yeah, this figure poses very well, has plenty to pose with. Definitely looks very cool, but I'll go ahead and show you some of the other poses you can get him into now. Here we have Toby Maguire Spider-Man all posed up, and you can get this figure into some very nice poses. And I will go ahead and show you some more of those poses now. Here we have the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man. And this figure also, you can get into some pretty great poses. Here is just one of them, and I will show you some more of them now. Very nice web slinging pose from the Tom Holland Spider-Man final web slinging suit. And yeah, so I'll go ahead and show you some more of the pictures of this guy now. Playability on this Sandman figure is great. I feel like this figure is very playable. You can definitely get some cool poses and playing with this guy. Definitely see some kids having a blast playing with this guy. This guy is a good figure for now. Playability on the Green Goblin. This figure has great playability. He has the very nice Goblin glider, as well as plenty of articulation and little blades and knives and missiles and everything all over him to get a great play. Definitely a very playable figure. Toby Maguire Spider-Man, very posable. Definitely could get some good play. This figure is definitely very posable and can do all the motion and action you really need. Definitely a good figure for play. The Andrew Garfield Spider-Man is also very posable. Definitely a good figure for play. Very posable, very playable. Spider-Man No Way Home Final web slinging suit is also a great figure for play. Definitely can get in some very nice web flinging action poses. Definitely a good playable figure. Now, displayability wise, this is absolutely amazing. This looks great. These figures all display very well individually and all together. I'd say displayability, they definitely all look great. If I was going to choose one that doesn't look as good, I'd say it's maybe the Toby Maguire Spider-Man. But other than that, I'd say all of these figures look great. Now, price-wise, all 4 of these figures were $25, so you're looking at $100 worth of value right here. Are they worth that? I'd say the figures that are worth the price are Spider-Man, more specifically, Tom Holland Spider-Man, Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, and I'd also say Sandman is worth it. I'd say out of all of these, the only figure that isn't worth the $25 price tag is Toby Maguire. He does not come with as many accessories as some of the other figures. Now, he does come with the same amount as Andrew Garfield Spider-Man, but he does not look as good. His figure doesn't look as good, it doesn't pose as well. It poses pretty well, actually, but it doesn't look as great. So I'd say that this Toby Maguire Spider-Man figure is the only one that's really not worth the $25 price tag. Here we have Norman Osborn Green Goblin. Now, this figure is $50. This is $50 for everything you see here, everything you see there, plus this, plus the little extra head sculpt. That's $50. Would I say that is really the price worth 2 of this guy? I'd say that this figure is. I'd say this figure is very expensive, and I'd say he's not quite worth $50. I'd say he's worth about $45 to maybe $40. I feel like that feels more realistic. What they're asking seems a little bit overinflated price-wise. It's not an accurate price on what this figure should be worth. But let's go ahead and move on to final thoughts. Overall thoughts on all 5 of these No Way Home action figures are, I feel like this wave is a pretty fairly priced. The only figures I feel like that were $25 that weren't worth it was that Toby Maguire figure, and I do feel like the $50 for the Green Goblin figure is a little bit overpriced by about $5 to $10. I feel like you do get a lot, but you do get the glider, you do get a lot for your money, but you also don't get any extra hands, you don't get any really extra head sculpts except for the Green Goblin mask. You don't get a whole lot more for your money, and I feel like for the price you should have gotten a whole lot more. So overall, I'd say these figures are worth. Some of them are worth the money. I'd say immediate pickups off the bat would be these figures here. I'd say these 3 figures are 100% worth the money. I feel like you will not regret picking these 3 figures up. The other 2 figures in this line, or I guess the other 2 figures being the Green Goblin and Toby Maguire Spider-Man, do feel a little bit overpriced. These figures look great, they pose great, they come with plenty of accessories. I feel like that these figures are 100% worth the price. I'm looking about $75 there, and I'd say that's about a good price for these figures. Maybe slightly a little bit more expensive but for overall, I'd say that these figures out of the bunch that I've got here are the ones that are worth the money. So if you enjoyed this, please like, and if you'd like to see more of my content, subscribe. And as always, I will see you in the next time. Bye.